It is October 16th, and we are coming to you with Jomboy and Jake Radio. This is the second ever test show. We got Brewers and Dodgers in the NLCS. Aaron Rodgers leads the Packers to a wild comeback. Are pitchers using pine tar? Do we care? A guy swam with sharks. Netflix is doing some weird shit. New Zealand had some fun with a bird contest. Twitter questions of the day and more. Let's get into it. Jomboy and Jake Radio. What's up, Jake? How you doing?
Every Tuesday, you have to play a song from a dead artist.
Every Tuesday's a dead artist?
Yeah.
Okay. That's a good Tom Petty song.
Yeah. He's got a lot of them.
Yeah, he might be Tom Petty Tuesday.
TPT. Wow.
Till Billy Joel dies. Does Billy Joel get his own day? Because that seems like something we should do.
I don't know. We could talk about it, I guess. But Tuesday's the worst day of the week.
Yeah, Two-Man Tuesday. You and Hank from Barstool.
Don't loop me with him.
Well, that's his big thing,
because
too.
that was my thing first. So
that is true.
I've been preaching that for years. Tuesday's the worst day of the week.
Yeah. I mean, your weeks and my weeks, but they don't really work like that anymore.
Monday's a scapegoat.
Gets away easy.
Well, no. Everyone blames it on Monday. Oh, Monday's back. Monday's needed. Monday's necessary. Tuesday. You're in it.
I like Tuesday because it's last from the past day. Ha.
No, you're a fool.
I like Tuesday because I like the letter
How's
T.
your morning? How's your morning?
Morning's good. We have neighbors really close here in this house, and they're doing construction like a house away. You might hear them if my mic picks them up, but just like woke up to some construction guy screaming, which is fine. But it's like, you know, we used to live in a rural area with no neighbors. Now we got neighbors. You watched these games yesterday?
I'm not going to ask about my morning. Okay.
Well, how's your morning?
It's just rude.
It's
just really rude.
What could happen in your morning? It's 8:13 there. How much have you done? What time do you get up? Interested, honest question. What time did you get up? Now I'm very interested.
Like 7.
All right. And your routine from 7 to sitting down to record?
You're missing all of it. It's how I woke up, Jim.
How'd you wake up?
Dog straight sat on my face. Full on. 60 pounds, furry dog right on my face. I didn't wake up from the dog being on me. I woke up from not breathing because the dog was on my face.
It would have been nicer if you didn't have to relive this.
It's a really bad time, but people need to know.
Why was he on your face? Is this something that happens a lot?
So it used to happen a lot more, and then I told my girlfriend, I was like, hey, I don't love this because it's startling to wake up to have, like, the dog jump on you.
Yeah.
It's being jumped on by a 60-pound creature. So we've shied away from that. So it's actually been kind of good recently. He'll kind of get on the bed and snuggle up next to me, which is delightful.
Yeah, that's nice.
It's like being woken up by a warm, alive pillow. And today he just took it 2 steps too far and just went straight belly on my face.
That doesn't sound fun. I wouldn't like that at all. Georgie,
no.
The dog I don't like. This is my last day with her.
Nobody would, by the way.
No, don't count out. There's some freaks out there.
No, not breathing.
Yeah.
Everybody does that when they wake up.
Yeah. Georgie, who just snuck into the room right now, if she barks, I'm going to kill her. She lays by her feet. She wants to come up by our heads, but we don't let her. So if she like comes up, it's a quick shove back to the bottom of the bed. I'm not a dog lover. I think everyone knows that, but I'll lay with like Zimmer. But for the most part, I find dogs kind of gross in general. I'm very allergic to them, so maybe that is why, like the dander and the fur, and even if they don't have fur, like I'm still allergic to it. So don't come lay on my face. She goes by my feet, and then she like traps my feet with the blanket, so I can't move my feet, you know?
Right.
So I wake up like every 3 hours and just pick her up and move her to the middle of the bed. But she wants to be skin to skin touching, so then she comes and puts my feet in prison again. But
I get that.
Zimmer does it, and I love it. But my grandma's dog does it. I don't like it.
Right.
Yeah. All right.
Rude.
What do you do? Do you shower before we record? Do you get coffee? Do you just wake up, take the dog out, and then sit down?
It's like you just give all the options. Like you don't give me a chance to lay it out there.
Well, now you
Just let me be.
now's your chance. What do you do?
I usually take the dog out. Or no, sometimes I don't. Sometimes the girlfriend does. I've been getting a coffee, and sometimes I click through some articles and stuff.
Nice.
So, and it's a new routine because this is day 2 of it.
Mm-hmm.
What's your routine, Jim?
Shower. I have to shower. I'm a big have to shower before I start my day guy. Set my alarm for 8, 8:30, 9, 9:30. One of those will get me up. Today the 9 o'clock one got me up. Didn't have to wait till 9:30. Shower.
Did you watch any of the American sports?
I did. I watched both. I had them both going at the same time yesterday towards the end. What do you want to go first? Brewers, Dodgers, or the football? Choose your own adventure.
Yeah, we'll get there. Let's do the football first.
Why did the 49ers make it so close?
Because football hasn't had the same realization that baseball has started to have. And I guess this will segue into baseball later. But something that's been big during this postseason has been using your best pitchers and using your best relievers, because you use your best guys, you have a better chance to win. Football, so many teams still shut down the offense and stop trying to score more points because there's more risk involved because they think they're going to turn the ball over. And it's just you're the 49ers. You're 1-4. Your backup quarterback is in the game. You're winning at Lambeau on a Monday night. You have the ball up a touchdown with 8 minutes to play in the fourth quarter, 5 minutes to play even, and you just run the saddest run plays with linebackers crashing down. So not only are you losing a yard or two on the play, but you're giving the Packers defense and crowd momentum because Martinez and Matthews come crashing through, make a big hit because they know you're going to run it, and then you're dead in the water.
Giving Aaron Rodgers the ball with any time, which we've learned for the millionth time, is a fool's errand. So first Aaron Rodgers ties it up at 30-30 with a nice drive, and then it looks like the Niners with Beathard, is that how you pronounce it?
Beathard, but Beathard's more fun.
Yeah, Beathard. They drop down. They go 4 wide. He drops down, and the Packers bring the house, and he just tosses it up, which leads to that interception, which a lot of people said was a penalty, but I don't think so.
No,
I think a lot of people get really confused where they can't stick to one thought process, like they're calling everything, and then they want everything called. Well, if you're calling everything, got to call everything. It's like this really mix of.
And people let their fandom come in. If you're rooting against the Packers that night, whether you just don't like them, you like a team in that division, or you're rooting for an underdog, your natural reaction is to go, oh, that's PI.
Yeah.
And if you're rooting for Rodgers and the Packers to come back, which is going to be the minority because it's basically only going to be Packers or Rodgers fans, then you're going to say that it's not a penalty. So, yeah, people in the internet is just going to be fully skewed. That was a really nice play by the defensive back. Beathard should have led him a little further, and he might have had a chance.
Yeah,
but
while it was in the air.
At the end of the day, that was a third down play, so that was essentially a punt to the 10-yard line.
Yeah, but when that ball was in the air and it was one-on-one downfield, it was like, oh, shit.
That's a good football moment.
Yeah, nothing gets you racing than a long pass in the air when you have time to think like, whoa, if he catches this, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and then
absolutely.
He did underthrow him on that throw, but he was getting like a 12-man blitz basically.
Yeah, it was
it
It was good coverage. I mean, I think he read the play right, because you're right. They did bring the house. And if they bring the house, you'd throw it to the one-man streaking pretty much. He left it short, but yeah, I mean, this goes back to teams just blowing it, and football. So that play happens. Green Bay gets the ball back. It's Rodgers. There's a minute left. They have no timeouts. They're on their own 10. And San Francisco had 2 or 3 timeouts left. So they run the ball the first play, like a run up the middle. And the guy bounces it outside, gets like 13 yards, and gets out of bounds. And then the whole stadium basically knows what's about to happen.
The whole world, anyone that's watched football before.
Now you've just let Rodgers be able to throw it, which means you're screwed. But the thing that's even more ridiculous, because again, no timeouts, and they're still at like the 25, if that, they just allow like 4 straight sideline outs. Like the only play that they're going to try to run.
I don't know if you can use the word allow. I mean, allow. I think you have.
There was one really good one by Rodgers. That was the back shoulder throw, which I get that. That's
on the right side.
That's impossible. Yes, that's impossible to defend. But that was like 2 throws later. One was literally an up and out, and the guy just lost his outside leverage. Not that I'm the expert on outside leverage, but literally you should be running that the ridiculous defense you see teams run at the end of games where they like literally guard the sidelines, because that's where they have to throw it. And they didn't do that, or run a normal defense. Don't just run a 3-man rush, and that's the Niners were just full on conservative.
Yeah, the first throw that you're talking about, the Niners allowed. The next 2, Rodgers placed perfectly. I have a question for you.
Sure.
For me, I don't hate the Packers. My brother-in-law's a diehard Packers fan, so I like to see him happy. So that's kind of interesting when that happens, right? When you have someone close to you that, like, you're rooting for the Brewers because our good friend Krause is a Brewers fan.
Right.
You like to see your friends happy, friends and family happy. But anyway, unless you really hate them, and then you like to see them you like really love them, hate them, whatever. You know what I'm saying? When Rodgers has that, when the Niners have the ball, tie game, I'm rooting 100% for the Niners to win because it's a big upset. It's crazy. Backup quarterback just beat one of the best quarterbacks to ever play.
When the Niners have the ball.
When the Niners have the ball. Before the interception. I'm rooting for the Niners. Then you get down to 19 seconds left, 30 seconds left, right before that run play where Rodgers ran up the middle and slid. I think that left you at 19 seconds left. I'm fully rooting for Rodgers because it's incredible. I want to see talent at the highest level. So I don't care about the underdog story. I don't care about the Niners. Like it would have been, I guess it would have been less anticlimactic if the Rodgers just got stopped. Who are you rooting for? I'm saying does high level play win you over in the end when it's not like, rooting interest or rivalry interest?
I have a fantasy skew mixed in there, so it makes it kind of tough. Like I was somewhat rooting for Rodgers to get points.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
But yeah, I don't know. For me, it's more so just at everything I've said. You're rooting for the Niners because they beat them, and it's awesome football. Marquise Goodwin, the track star, is starting to look like a football player. He's looking like Tyreek Hill Part 2. And your backup quarterback, Lambeau, you came in and you beat them for like 55 minutes of a 60-minute game, and then you just went full breaks mode. So at that point, you didn't deserve it anymore. So I was pretty much done with them when they called it quits.
You're mad at the Niners.
Yeah.
I wanted Rodgers to get the last throw, so with 19 seconds left, he threw 3 sideline plays, right? And then there was 6 seconds left. Should have kicked it. Like, they should have just kicked it right there. But
Well, no. So I think what they were actually doing there was just running a play because it's a 5-second runoff for a field goal, and there was 6 seconds on the clock.
so they just want to kill 1 second.
Yeah.
Okay, but all right. So I read that differently. I didn't have that inside 5-second runoff knowledge because he throws the 3 perfect sideline plays. The 6 seconds left. He looks at the sideline, goes one more.
Yeah.
I thought if he drops the touchdown pass, just like boom, 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 that's amazing football to watch. Watch a guy do that. But he did just throw it away. Like they weren't even trying.
Yeah.
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 But I was ready.
Like, that's why the receiver, if you look at it, like the throw was I feel like Rodgers left a little like if this guy wants to go amazing catch, maybe he can. But yeah, the receiver didn't even go for the ball, and I think those were sideline orders just to run one play so that the field goal would be the end of the game.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. But I was excited if he did. If he was just like, fuck it, let's just finish this right here.
Fantasy, I was really excited. I was like, wow, this would really be BDR. But no.
BDR.
Big Dick Rodgers.
Wow, yeah. I never got into the whole big dick slang stuff.
Yeah, we know.
Ho! All right, more from last night. Oh, we didn't do the beginning of the segment we wanted to do. Let's get into last night's games. Wait, maybe I did say that.
Yeah, I kind of did it for you.
Nice, thanks. Brewers win versus the Dodgers, and I think this is the biggest win of the series, 4-run win. Brewers win 4-0, score 1 in the first, I think 1 in the 6th, 2 in the 8th, something like that. It did get close because Jeffress, who I told you yesterday sucks, almost sucked again. This game was a brutal reminder of why I don't like the National League and don't like National League baseball. Did you watch a lot of this game? Because I got a few things I want to talk about, but I don't know.
No, I was mostly football mode, and I was working and doing stuff, talking Knicks stuff till like 9 Eastern time, pretty much.
Nice.
So I went straight from that to foosball.
Yeah, I'm a crazy person. I had football on the main TV. I had baseball on my second computer screen, and I was editing Laughs from the Past on the main one. But, okay. Walker Buehler, right, gives up a single no, he walks Christian Yelich and then gives up a double to Braun, and Yelich scored from first to home on a double. Pretty impressive.
Like that?
Yeah, I think he was pretty fast. Ulyss Chasin, whatever, pitched pretty good. Chasin pitched pretty good. But here's the fun stuff.
First pitcher ever to go 5-inning shutout in his first 2 playoff starts.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
It's really cool for Jules Chassin. Super cool.
Ulyss. I just watched a video.
Ulyss, yeah. You've got his first name. I've got his last name.
Yeah, I just watched a video on how to pronounce it because it's crazy. And they show like all his teammates trying to pronounce it. They can't even pronounce it. Like, I have no idea. No idea on both names. Anyway, there's a couple things to talk about from this game, Jake. I want to get into National League and how I hate the National League. I don't think it's good baseball. But in the bottom of the second inning, Manny Machado singles. Cody Bellinger switches places with him on a fielder's choice, right?
Sure.
Then Puig doubles, but Bellinger can't score from first. Now it's a different double than what.
Did he go sexy, Puig? Tongue out?
I didn't see his reaction because they were showing
Okay.
Bellinger who went first to third, but
Right.
Yelich just went first to home on a double. So it was like, oh, that
Right.
would have been cool if they both did it. It was a different double. Puig's wasn't as hard hit. Like, I don't even know if Puig's got to the wall, or it kind of did.
Right.
Whatever. But then, in the bottom of the second, this is why I hate the National League, you have Manny Machado singled, Cody Bellinger grounds out, they switch places, Puig doubles, now you have second and third, right?
Right.
And there's the 2 storylines from this game. Grandal you can't play him. They can't play Grandal anymore, and the National League sucks. So Grandal, there's 1 out, men on second and third in the second inning. Grandal strikes out, 1-2 count, 4 pitches, strikes out. So then, Enrique K. Hernandez comes up in the 8th hole. They intentionally walk him because the pitcher's up next. So now you got the bases loaded, and Walker Buehler strikes out on 5 pitches, 2-2 count, strikes out. And like that is You think like anyone that would argue that's fun strategy, that's not. It's not fun strategy to have your 7th hitter strike out because he's terrible right now, and then you just walk the 8th hitter to get out the pitcher.
Yeah, no argument.
Yeah. So then that happens again at the very end of the game. So Jeffress, who sucks, okay, he comes in the game and it's 4-0, and he gives up a single, a double, and a walk, right? And now now it is the same thing. It's bases loaded, 1 out, with Yasmani up. He strikes out on 3 pitches and looks terrible in the process. And this is Jeffress, who I've said looks terrible. Everyone knows looks terrible. Every inning is rocky. He just gave up a single double walk, and you strike out on 3 pitches. So Grandal, they can't play him anymore. He also had a wild pitch that led to a run. But then they pinch hit Brian Dozier, and you got a guy fresh off the bench coming in because the pitch. I can't get behind the National League. It's such a worse product.
Yeah, we're baseball guys, and I think we're going to circle back on that a little bit. I've stumbled onto some things baseball can do, and I mean this one won't be a hot take, but like get the DH in the National League. Just cut the tape on it. You're going to have people mad for like 3.5 weeks.
They'll die
that's
4 weeks later.
And it should be done. And I've mentioned this to you many a times. It's literally the most baseball story of all time. Why the NL doesn't have the DH. I'm gonna rip through it quick. They had a vote. It was some point in the 60s or early 70s. And again, this is baseball, so all the owners know each other, and they're doing some song and dance. And you have to think about it. It goes back to like a place and time, and that's how dumb teams are. Like if you have a really good running back today in the NFL, like if you're the Cowboys and they were going to change the running back rules, you'd be like, no, we don't want those rules because we have Ezekiel Elliott. But like teams are frozen in time. So this was what was going on. So there was like 4 or 5 teams in the National League that wanted to keep the pitcher hitting. I think because they had like decent pitcher hitters, and then the rest of the league was ready to go to the DH. So they had the votes. They saw what it was doing in the American League, so they were ready to go for it. And so one of the team owners was fishing. And again, this is the 70s. He's fishing with one of his grandsons, and they're on the middle of a lake. And they slightly tweaked something about the vote. And so the person that they sent gets all nervous. He doesn't want to make the owner mad. And so he abstains from the vote. And so there was another guy that got sent to the vote who was told to copy whatever that owner did because they were buddies. So he abstains. So the DH didn't pass. So this is why 40 years later we do not have a DH in the National League. And they've just never gone back and done anything about it.
Now it's like a weird sense of stubborn pride.
And it would just make the game better. It would lead to more scoring and less intentionally walking an 8-hitter to get to a pitcher and
with 2
all
in scoring
of that
position.
stuff. That's just not good baseball. And I mean, man, people are starting to look at baseball differently in front offices. If you're one of those people, why wouldn't you almost burn everything you've got to get through the first 5 batters? And then for the next batters, just kind of dick around and then dance around the 8 spot and the pitcher spot to get a free out. And like people are going to start doing more of that stuff. We have people opening games now.
The analytic, the nerds, who we call nerds, but in a loving way, because I don't hate everything they're doing.
Right.
I don't hate much of what they're doing at all.
They mean well.
They are going to exploit this soon. We're going to see drastic strategies where the 8th hitter, just if it's not bases loaded, the 8th hitter he's not a hitter anymore.
Right. Like
he'll just get walked unless it's
And this will be easier than us pointing at the nerds and saying whatever analytical stuff. So baseball has gone from, I'd say even in the early 90s, if you had an 0-2 count, it was like, ooh, you might be able to get this guy right now and have a really quick batter. Now it's basically bounce 2 or 3 curveballs to see if you can get him to chase. Like, if you're the 8th batter, it's going to go to basically you don't get a strike. So, and I know it's been like that for a little bit. I mean, pitchers are going to try to paint the corners, but it's just going to go to them totally dodging that guy. And now you have the pitcher up, and I mean, it's just it's pretty awful for the sport.
Yeah. Speaking of painting the corners, the last strike of the game was Jeffress versus Dozier, and I mean, whatever. I'm going to stand by my take because some people are like, baseball's hard. I know it's hard. You're not a professional. I know I'm not a professional. Dozier has to swing there. I mean, it's 2 strikes, bases loaded, 2 outs. You can't let the ump call you out on a close pitch. And, I mean, that was way too close to take, to not even try to fight off a foul ball or put it in play, or that tough look for me. And I'm not blaming the whole entire game on that at all. There's so much that happened. But I just think you want a guy who's going to swing at anything close there. You have to swing.
Yeah. I mean, I think you and me can look back at our playing days. I'm sure we've ended some 2-out innings by taking a pitch over the corner.
If that's how, if I'm not allowed to talk about baseball because I wasn't good at baseball, then I'm not allowed to talk about anything in life.
Yeah, well, that's my vote. I don't know. It's tough to say. Yes, you want him to swing. It's a 98-mile-per-hour fastball on the outside corner. It's it's the optics, I guess, but I don't know. You can't
put that.
I'm not gonna shake my finger at Dozier.
Can't put that in the umps game. Like, what are you doing? If
it was a closer game, I think I'd be more mad.
Bases
loaded.
If
it was 4-3,
4-0. Bases loaded.
I know. I don't care. It's not like, oh, hit a grand slam. That's not how baseball works either.
Hit a single, score 2, pass the baton to your top of the order.
Yeah, swing and miss, same result.
Yes, but you gotta put that in your own hands. You can't let an ump's call that you may disagree with. It's like a Hicks. It's like exactly like Hicks. He just looked at the pitch and then looked at the ump like, no, I knew that's a ball.
It's a great pitch, though. I mean, that's what Jeffress is supposed to do. I think this is partially your hate for Jeffress.
No, it was a really, really good pitch. I just don't think you can let the ump control the game. Like we've seen.
Dozier. If you're Dozier, the Dodgers, you're saying don't call an outside fastball strike.
Yeah, I just completely disagree with that. I think you got to do like what Gardner did against Cody Allen in last year's, when he's like, I'm not going to let the ump have any say in what happens here. I'll foul off every pitch. That's close.
Well, that's his skill set. Brian Dozier's been a 40 home run player who's really struggled since he's gone to the Dodgers.
Yeah. Would have liked not to take that though and end the game.
Yeah.
Puig deked out Yelich in this game for some fun baseball moves.
Love that.
Yelich was on first. Braun hits a little bloop in between second and right field. And it wasn't even the best of dekes, but Puig just threw his glove up like he was going to catch it. Yelich completely stopped. Ball drops in front of Puig, picks it up, throws it to second, gets the force out. Braun was on first like, no, dude, come on.
Dude, and that's not the first time that's happened this playoffs. Yelich has had a couple base running things, and it's kind of been funny because it's been in front of Braun, and Braun is this has been the full-out passing of the torch from MVP Braun to MVP Yelich.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of funny because Braun, he still has enough street cred up there that he can show his emotions at Yelich where other guys probably couldn't. And it doesn't help that Braun has wide eyes anyways.
Yeah.
But he's giving him a few like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah. But Yelich can say he scored from first earlier in the game. But yeah. A good deke in baseball. It's like a fantastic part of the game.
Yeah. Bad deke, ugly.
Yes. Travis Shaw hit a triple. Travis Shaw's swing is weird. It never feels like he completes his swing, but he hits bombs.
Yeah.
And then scored on a wild pitch, curveball right through Grandel's legs to make it 2-0.
Brewers are really cool, man. I don't know if we want to fully do this thing right now, but dude, they've had Travis Shaw playing second base, who's this 1B 3B guy, and he's a big dude. He's 6'4", 230. And so I mean, shout out to Shaw for doing it. But you know, you and me do Yankee stuff, and people are complaining about Andujar and stuff like that. Analytics is also going away from defense a little bit. It's a little bit be able to do basic defense, but what you can do with the bat is much more important, and they want pitchers striking out more guys. So it's this whole Brewers team, if they do it, if they win the World Series, sports are so copycat in every league. They say it the most in football,
Yep.
but every league you copy the guys that are doing it the best. Hot takes only. But like if the Brewers do it with the relief pitcher starting and how they're using Hader and just guys playing all over the field who are their best guys, not really worried about defense, baseball's going to change, and I think it's good stuff, but I think it's also baseball doesn't have it all figured out yet. The Brewers don't have it all figured out. The Dodgers, the final teams, you can take little pieces like, hey, a Justin Verlander's still awesome. A Josh Hader, awesome. A Travis Shaw that can play a little second base, awesome. So, I don't know. We're baseball guys. Biased.
They only used Hader for 2 batters, which helps them out since they have 3 in a row now. Because Knievel came in and he faced 6 batters, I think, got 6 out. But I think he struck out. I think he's faced 5 batters and he struck out 4. Yes, he came in with 1 out versus Manny Machado, got a ground out, then struck out Bellinger, struck out Puig, struck out Grandal, struck out Enrique, which the last 2 aren't impressive. But still, he never had 3 balls in a count. It was first pitch, 1-2, 2-2, 1-2, 0-2. So he's just 2 strikes on everyone. Knievel looked good. High fastballs, just straight at your face. You're going to swing and miss.
Evil Knievel.
Evil Knievel. All right, that ends last night's games. Sports talk. Well, we'll go into what we're watching tonight. But for now, we're going to go to sports or silly. Go to the open floor. What you want to talk about, Jake? You go in sports, you go in silly.
I'm opening up half silly. I guess the end of it's silly, and it's Netflix is starting to let viewers dictate how certain shows end, like some episodes of Black Mirror, which is like that's one of Netflix's biggest shows recently. I guess they've been doing this with like some children's shows and stuff, which is kind of funny. And I almost like that idea because I don't know, have your kid be happy or whatever they want. That's a whole millennial talk. But basically, my big question is this cool or is this just horrible?
I don't like this, but that's just me personally. I read a lot of books when I was a little kid. I hated choose your own adventure books. I hated it.
I had my own issues with that, but I don't think we want to talk about that.
HBO just did this, so we should give Steven Soderbergh credit because
Mr. Soderbergh.
He just did this with a show called Mosaic, which Garrett Hedlund, one of my favorite actors, was in. But I'm not going to watch it because you tell me what the story is.
Right.
Don't make me work to be entertained. I don't want to choose wrong and then have that on my conscience. If I was to watch one of these shows, Jake, or read one of these books, there's no way that I could be like, all right, I choose he chases after the girl, and then I read that whole chapter or watch that whole next episode. There's no way I won't be able to not go back and watch the other one and find out which choice. And then I'm just like, well, now I'm living in 2 different worlds that are opposing stories, and I don't know what actually happened. I hate everything about it. Just tell me what happens. Don't let me choose. But I think some people will like it.
Oh, yeah. Millennials will love it. It's changing the coffee shop conversation from did you like Stranger Things to did you like the happy ending or did you like the ending where everyone died?
Yeah.
And it's just like,
I think Mosaic did it with Steven Soderbergh. I didn't watch it, but I think it was more along the lines of whose perspective do you want for this scene? Do you want to be like in her perspective, how she's sees the first interaction and she hears the conversation, or do you want his? And then you could go back and watch both and see which each other were thinking.
And like that's kind of a concept I like, because you can do some really creative stuff with that. But I mean that's almost not an alternate ending. That's I mean there's some artistic and cool stuff you could do with that. Like that can be, you know, I mean if you do that in a certain order as a director, I think you can do some really cool stuff. Like if there's I'll make up my own movie right now, but like say there's a girl watching the guy she likes and he's talking to another girl and he like whispers in her ear like, "Hey, I'm sorry, you're a nice girl, but I really like the other girl." And you kind of do a pump fake like, or fist pump like, "Yes, that's cool." Now next scene you're watching the same thing from the other girl's perspective and it looks like he's leaning in and kissing her ear and that girl's devastated. You could do some cool stuff with perspective stuff like that, but just flat out changing how the story goes, that and you're kind of my movie guy. I mean this has to piss off some directors and stuff, right? Like you're basically taking away some of your artistic. God, you should have heard the different words that went through my head for that last word. All of them so wrong.
Well, some directors will like it because there's always movies where there's the theatrical cut and the director's cut. I think the biggest one's like the first Blade Runner, where the director just had a completely different tone and stuff, but then the production or whatever network wanted it more, friendly, audience friendly, family friendly, boppy, lame, and less artistic. I think that's always the thing. So the directors usually make their own cuts. So if this is a way for a director to do more, I think most directors will like this. I think most writers, you know what? I think everyone in Hollywood's going to like it because everyone in Hollywood likes doing a bunch of different creative stuff. Like everyone in Hollywood, this is something I always think about. Everyone in Hollywood loves doing animation at one point. Like they just want to try that because they're all artistic. I have a creative side to my brain. I like writing. Like I've had like ideas to write movies and stuff before, and if I was good enough to do it or somehow could do it, I would do it. I would never want to be like, oh, this is going to be my, like Wes Anderson, this is going to be my claymation one. Like Judd Apatow,
Right.
This is going to be my cartoon. Like, I'd never, like, fuck that. I don't want to do that. But everyone in Hollywood loves trying everything.
Maybe you'd come around. You never know.
Maybe I'd get hooked and like they'd explain it why it's cool.
My heart's in Budapest, my broken treasure chest.
All right, next. I'm up.
That'd be a song I could end a karaoke night with.
Yeah, let's do it again.
Give me one more reason why. I don't know the words to any song. What do you got, Jim? What do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about this guy in Canada who jumped into the shark tank at the aquarium, Jake. The full story is even better. He jumped in naked, mind you. There's videos.
You were excited about this.
There's videos on Instagram. Well, it's a wild story because once you read the article, it's like, wait, what? He was at Medieval Times, okay?
Sure.
He got in an altercation.
Monday night.
Medieval Times is a great time. He got in an altercation. He assaulted someone. I'm guessing he got into a fight, and they use these big words, like assault sounds. I think he probably got in a fight and punched someone. But anyway, he ran away, okay? And he ran to the aquarium, like 5 miles down the street, walked into the aquarium, stripped naked, jumped into the tank with tiger sharks, which will eat anything, naked, did some breaststroke across, then went to the edge, climbed out of the edge naked, stood up on the edge, did like a back dive, like a back belly flop, like a back flop into the water again, like causing a scene, saying all the sharks had to be like, hello? And then he gets out. There's a lady holding his clothes. She gives him his clothes. And he walks away, and they haven't caught him yet. That's a wild night.
That's a wild night. I think there's some important things we need to harp on. Medieval times that close to the zoo. I mean, the fun part of town.
Yeah, that's makes for a good night.
This guy had to be hammered.
Yeah, hammered, and I feel like a bet.
Because, well, no. I'll tell you why. Drunk is the only terms. Because he had to be so drunk that he picked a side at medieval times to the point where he was ready to throw fists. And that's just not knowing what's going on.
You can get pretty swept up at medieval times. I've been twice in the last couple of years. It's, whew.
You're going to throw fists?
No. I'm not throwing fists over anything.
Because they're acting out a medieval times story / fight in the arena.
Yeah, some of the contests before the fake fighting are real contests, like you have to ride through and throw your spear at it's like darts, but riding on a horse and throwing a big ass dart.
Horse darts.
Or you have to have your joust and you have to put it through the ring,
Right.
There's a hanging ring. I think they really try on those. And me and Luke booed our own night so bad one time. We were like, dude, you suck. Come on. What the hell? And he looked back at us and shrugged and was like, I'm trying.
I'm trying.
And then we felt really bad. But if you go to medieval times, you have to allow yourself to become a child who doesn't know it's fake. Otherwise, you're not going to have fun at medieval times.
Right, but a child that doesn't know it's fake.
I'm not
doesn't
saying
get blackout drunk and punch.
No, I'm not saying
person,
punch anyone, but I'm saying you got to get into it. But
and then the Shark Tank stuff. I mean that's you either have to be crazy drunk or let's be honest, suicidal or a secret shark expert.
he's
like this could have also been premeditated.
Well, the way that there was a girl there just holding his clothes when he got out for him.
Yeah.
Either, I don't know. I'd have to see the face. Either that's
or maybe this is a regular thing for him.
It's funny that he's all over Snapchat and everything. His dick's out, but he just walked out of the aquarium. Security at the aquarium told him he had to leave, which, yeah, of course, but also arrest him or something. And then now the aquarium...
Do something, Canada.
Now the aquarium's saying they want to press charges to the fullest. But wild night for that guy.
If he loses a limb, shark eats a leg, shark eats an arm, does everyone just kind of wash their hands and move on?
No, I think the aquarium would have to press charges because they would have to avoid lawsuits. So they'd have to make sure that they put him in the wrong. Do you know what I'm saying?
No.
The
guy jumping into the Shark Tank.
Yeah,
during closed hours.
Yeah, for insurance reasons. The insurance company is going to be like, well, this is your fault. And they'll be like, no, it's his fault. We're suing him. He did this and this and this.
But why? He lost a limb. What are you... Why? I don't know.
Because you got to make sure the insurance doesn't come for you.
Why are they going to come for you?
Because he had an accident at your place of business?
He did not have an accident. If he comes at you with that, then yes, you go through all those avenues.
Dude, I don't know. People sue
But if he just looks at...
He could sue them.
If he just looks at you and says, I lost an arm, I'm going to move on, are we cool?
I don't think so.
I think if you're the aquarium there, you go, yeah, get out of here. Don't jump in our Shark Tank.
Bad press for the aquarium. I think you got to set a precedent that if you do this, we don't care what happens to you, you're going to get jail time or get heavy fines.
I think losing a limb's a lot for a lot of people.
Yeah. But some people will think, well, I can do it and not lose a limb and get no trouble.
Well,
you got double.
Then you sue them.
Got to double punish them. And dude, the laws don't protect common sense. Common sense says losing a limb is enough. Laws don't protect that. He could sue the aquarium for allowing a drunk man to be able to jump in. Why don't you have higher fences? Why isn't it fully enclosed?
Well, if he does that, then you do your stuff. Yeah. But
I think a lawyer would say you got to be.
You went too far. You went too far.
You asked a question. I'm answering it.
No, you gave a bad answer.
No, good answer. It makes sense. You got to sue him. Jake, what's your next topic? What do you want to talk about?
Again, this is sports or silly. I wanted to talk sports. Third time I've said this. We're baseball guys. This comes up on Twitter now after every baseball game. But this is more fun because one of the players gets involved and he's a nut job player. Trevor Bauer pitcher for the Indians. Total weirdo.
Um,
The comparison Jimmy always uses is he's like just angry wrestler from high school that nobody liked, but now he's in the big leagues, and he's like now he's like trying to fit in with the team and stuff because they kind of caved and like. If you're gonna be with us, be better. And now it's just an ugly situation. But I mean, the story is pine tar, rosin, quote unquote mud. Almost every pitcher is using one of these materials to get a better grip on the ball, and it's Jim. I think the reason I want to bring this up is I think I'm in the minority of what baseball people are thinking. But I'll send it to you first and let you talk about Bauer first because I know he's one of your favorites, and then kind of where you're at on this.
Well, Bauer sucks. I flip-flopped on him for a little bit where I hated him, and then I thought, actually, he's kind of funny and interesting and like a good character for baseball. Now I think he's a bad character for baseball. I think they need to really rein him in because some of the stuff he's doing on Twitter lately is like, man, you're making it really easy for teams to tell guys not to market themselves. And they want everyone to market themselves. And it's like, well, not you, right. Bauer, you fucking lunatic. I think he's... Someone said it in some message board I read. I think it was Reddit. They said he's an engineer playing baseball. Like, he's a nerdy, stubborn, like, kind of...
Like a bad engineer. Like the engineer you'd hate.
Yes. Yeah. And yeah, man. So I'm out on Bauer. I don't like him at all. I think his curveball is really cool. I think all the stuff he does where he like tries different grips and has a lap, I think that's cool. But the way he handles stuff is cool. As far as the pine tar stuff goes, I mean, there's a video out there that's all the Red Sox touching their arm whenever they get a ball. I don't care. I don't care because baseball has told me not to care. Hitters have told me that, like, instead of the rosin bag, there should be something sticky because players need grip in cold weather. And if teams cared, we would see ejections because it's clear both teams and every team uses this. But I don't think any team cares, so I'm not going to care.
And that's so this is where I kind of get frustrated because I think I've fully decided I'm on the other side of the fence just because. So basically this has turned into a game of chicken of both of our pitchers use this stuff. And so, not to get too corny, but like pitching wins you games. The Brewers won last night because they didn't give up any runs and the Dodgers gave up 4 runs. But man, so now we're playing a game of chicken of, well, our pitchers use it so their pitchers can use it. And again, I talked about this a little bit yesterday. Baseball's better if more guys are scoring runs. Some people play the safety card, and that's honestly a crock of shit. Pardon my French. Hey, man, if we cannot have these guys throwing 93-mile-per-hour sliders anymore, I think the hitters would do a little better. So I think it's almost a win-win thing. Like, you don't have to do this substance debate because every game each team's fans are going to look at the opposing pitcher and say, oh, Kimbrel's got something on his hat. Oh, that guy's got something on his arm. And now each side is doing this because they're going to turn a blind side to their thing. And it's like, why don't we just absolutely say no?
Or like, yes.
Here's my thing. If you say yes, now you're basically fully putting the hitters at a disadvantage. And like Bauer's saying, I think there's some guys out there that actually don't use this stuff because they're just saying like, oh, everybody kind of does this. And it's like, well, what does that mean? So everyone is allowed to half cheat? Like you just said, either. And if it is fully okay with everyone, then just put it in the rule book. Like, stop dancing around it and having it be one of these baseball's hidden rules and then twice a year a pitcher gets kicked out of a game. Like, either make it a rule or don't and just move on.
I agree with
because I'm kind of done with it.
Well, I agree with that. They should make it a rule. And the next time the collective bargaining agreement comes up, they should try to change the rule to something standardized. I can't deal with the people who send me the videos, and it goes viral every day. Like, do you see what he's using? Like, yeah, man, they all use it. So as a fan base, like, I can't get pent up because I know my guys are using it too. Like you said, a lot of people can't see that. They just turn a blind eye to their guys and just getting mad at other guys.
Right. It just leaves too much wiggle room.
That frustrates me more. Like, shut up. Like,
because then you turn. What if if Zach Britton comes out with the guy who came over to the Yankees this year and he's like, oh, I've never used pine tar. Then like the fans are gonna say, well, you should use a little. The other guys are using it, and now it's just a mess. Like I don't know. It's in no way is it a good thing for baseball. So that's what baseball needs, more good things. So
we'll see. What if the Astros? I mean, Cora was on the Astros last year, so it's also like, if he calls them out, is it kind of bullshit because it's like stealing signs basically from the team you just left, like, or
you know me, I love, not to go full Joker, but I love a little anarchy. I would love if the series went full mess and they just started calling out each other every pitcher. I think that would be hilarious. It would be a nightmare for baseball.
That's what I was saying. That's bad for baseball.
It would be awful for baseball, but address the issue. Like, if that happened, if they're playing tonight, they are playing tonight. If they played tonight and every other pitcher that came out of the bullpen, the manager came out and pointed at that pitcher and he had pine tar on him and had to be kicked out, it would be the lead story. No PR is bad PR. But it would make baseball make a decision on this, which they need to, because it's ridiculous. Like, don't get me wrong. I love some of the beautiful stuff on baseball. Don't step on the line. And some of the unwritten rules are fun and aloof. But, like, this is dumb, and you're getting fan bases angry for no reason.
They should stop it or standardize it. I agree with that. I don't think they can right now, so I don't know how you handle the rest of this, like, playoffs, because the Red Sox, almost every pitcher had it on their arm.
But, like, also think about this. Your job as the manager is to win. If you're the Astros manager, which I think you've applied to, and it's Game 7, you're down a run, and they bring in Kimbrel, and he's got material on him. Hey, man, I'm trying to win that game.
Billy Martin in the bat.
I'm just saying. And again, talk about bad PR for baseball. Wow. Game 7 of a playoff series, Hinch comes out, points at Kimbrel. He gets the boot from the game. I mean, that would be insanity. And Jim,
terrible look for baseball, but you have me rooting for it too. Throw a little anarchy.
It could happen.
Yeah.
And like, if I was the manager, and I feel like this depicts me in almost a bad light, but like, why wouldn't you do that, or at least try? You get their best reliever out of the game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for it now that you said it. Introduce a little anarchy into the mix. It's a terrible look for baseball, and I'm trying to have baseball have good looks, but maybe it'll lead to better looks. It'll be a lot of eyes on baseball, but yeah, it's pretty. They need to standardize it.
One step back, 2 steps forward.
Yeah, I had something, but I forget. Oh, it's like Billy Martin. Like, they knew that George Brett's bat had the pine tar way too up on the handle, but Billy Martin was just waiting for the moment to say it. He waited till he hit a home run. But I mean, I think that was a really bad look for baseball then, because then the rules said no, it didn't affect the home run, and then they finished the game where, like, they went back and finished the game from that part. You know, like, it's like a really weird bad look for baseball from the casual fan. Like, what the fuck's going on over here? But yeah. But yes.
Or just think about that. You're trying to get into baseball. You're growing up in Boston, and Garrett Cole's got something on his arm, and you're like, wait, why does this guy get to use pine tar? I don't know. Yep. Do something.
All right. The next thing I want to talk about, this is real quick, is that New Zealand voted for Bird of the Year every year.
Sure.
They voted for a bird. Oh, shit, I don't have the name. They voted for a bird that gets drunk. It eats fruits that are full of alcohol, and then it is known as like a lazy drunk bird that just falls out of the tree every now and then. It's called It's called some kind of pigeon. It's pretty looking pigeon. It's known for becoming dazed and clumsy after eating fermented fruit, It's been named the 2018 Bird of the Year. So I just want to say, let everyone know there's a drunk bird that exists.
So is it Bird of the Year? New Zealand's Bird of the Year?
It's New Zealand Bird of the Year in New Zealand. So New Zealand votes on a Bird of the Year. This might not be a big deal in New Zealand at all. Like if you ask someone from New Zealand, they'd probably be like, wait,
Right.
what do we do? I didn't know that. Like 10 New Zealanders. But I think everyone needs to know Karuru pigeons binge on fruit then they get drunk and they just straight fall out of tree limbs, which is an awesome sight. It won Bird of the Year, and New Zealand votes on Bird of the Year. These are facts, just bring them up at your next dinner party.
Really bad look for every extinct animal that this guy beat you out.
That's a great point.
Suck it, Darwin.
That's a really good point, Jake. I'm glad I brought this story up so you could.
I'm up there on the drunk bird expert scale.
All right. Let's move on again to the Twitter question of the day. I tweeted out what's on your mind, what you want to talk about. We got a lot of responses. I might do this every now and then. I'm not going to do it every morning because I don't want to be a guy with a standardized tweet every morning. But send them our way if you have random questions, and we will conjure a list. I have 2 for us today. One is very quick, and then one's can lead to a bigger conversation, and we're running late on time, so maybe we push that. Let's just do the quick one. Gushers or fruit roll-ups, Jake? Did you have either of these as a kid?
So no, I was the bad snack house. If we had Triscuits, like times were great. Like times were really good if we had Triscuits.
I hate Triscuits.
Yeah, I know. That's kind of the point. Like I'm trying to think of a snack that would beat Triscuits in the house. And it just, hey, I don't want to send shots fired to parents across America, but you set up the bad mentality. Because if anything good comes in the house, then it's a race to who can have the most of it because you know it's not coming back. But this is an easy one for me. It's Gushers. Easy.
I just had a light bulb go off my head. I read this wrong in my head until you just said the words out loud, because there's a classic rivalry in my brain, and it's Fruit by the Foot and Fruit Roll-Ups. So when I saw Fruit Roll-Ups verse, I just thought naturally it was Fruit Roll-Ups versus Fruit by the Foot. I didn't realize Gushers was the other one. That's completely weird. My brain completely blocked out the word Gushers on the screen. It's Gushers easily. This isn't even a question. I thought it was Fruit by the Foot versus Fruit Roll-Ups. That's more interesting.
See, my childhood didn't even allow that. I thought Fruit Roll-Ups and Fruit by the Foot were the same thing.
No, Fruit Roll-Ups are a square, right? That, like, they have little characters.
You could punch them out and stuff.
Yeah,
I used to stare at the kids eating those.
And Fruit by the Foot was like a little, like, rolled up thing.
That's a much better conversation, though.
That's what I'm saying. Gushers is the easiest victory.
Where do you stand on by the foot or roll up?
By the foot, because it's so much fun to grab the little lip, like the tongue, and then fling it, and it completely unravels. Or it's fun to put like it in your mouth and then just like keep like slurping it up like a clown tie, but the opposite.
Yeah, that was too. Those were too risky for me because again, if I got my hands on one of those, it was finding gold in the mountains.
Katie had friends over the other day. She bought a 36-pack of Fruit Roll-Ups and just put it in the kitchen.
That's just rude. We know that.
I threw it out. There was like 20 left. I said, Katie, I'm throwing all these out. She was like, yeah, that's fine by me. We just threw them out.
Yeah, that's rude.
Can't have that in the house. I mean, I'd eat one an hour.
Fruit by the foot, I just put the whole thing in my mouth and just give like a ugly smile.
Yeah, like it's all like dripping down your face.
Yeah. I did it.
Yeah. All right, that's the end of the show. What are we watching tonight? We got a lot going on. We got Sox versus Astros. That series at 1-1. That's what must watch for me. Brewers, Dodgers. It's going to be hard to watch all this. And then Rangers versus Avalanche. I'm trying to get into hockey. Well, I like the sport of hockey. I played hockey growing up my whole life. It's weird that you say your whole life when you're really talking about like 8 through 18. People say like I played baseball my whole life, and they're talking about like 10 years of their life. It's a weird concept. Humans are weird. Anyway,
I guess some people play it as like a hobby still.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying. A lot of people say, yeah, whatever. Rangers are 3-1-1. Avalanche are bad. Rangers are a rebuilding team.
No, you have that reversed. Colorado's 3-1 and 1. The Rangers are 1-4.
I was thinking that. I was like, the Rangers don't have a tie.
No, they're actually playing pretty bad so far this year.
Well, the Rangers, their offense looks, from what I've seen, and I don't know the players, dude. I realized, like, I'm just gonna be honest with my Rangers fandom. Like, I need to learn a lot. But hockey's harder to like learn the individual players because you got to really like know the numbers and then like pay attention who's on the ice. It's because it's much more of a cohesive unit than a single player than baseball. The Rangers' offense is pretty good, except at putting the puck behind the goal line into the net. They are fast and they get a lot of chances. They just can't finish in the 2 games I've watched out of the 5 they've played. But yeah, I'm trying to learn the Rangers stuff, so bear with me, I guess. If you're a Rangers fan, you won't accept me ever, I think, because I'm die easy, brand new fan. But I want to learn. I want to watch.
Hot take. For me, it's opening night of NBA. We've got Philadelphia versus Boston, OKC versus Golden State. Russ is out for OKC, so that kind of sucks for them. Philly-Boston will be fun at the Boston Garden, so it'll be rocking. Gordon Hayward's back. Oh, my God.
So are you expecting Boston to be really good now that they got Hayward back and this young team has grown for one more year? And
this is a scary question from you to me because I really try to be so honest with myself via sports. And Boston is obviously the one place where I can get lost because they're New York's opposition for
adversary.
If this was a New York team, I would be screaming from the rafters just because, yeah, we did good last year. We've got a great coach. We've got what should be one of our best players coming back. And I just can't straighten it out in my head. I think they're going to run into trouble just because they have so many young guys that proved a lot last year. And now you have Gordon Hayward, a guy coming back that's supposed to be getting 32 minutes a night, and you paid him for that. But I don't know. In the back of my head, I know that they're still going to be very good. I just don't think it's going to be as easy as teams think. And I think everyone's talking that the East is trash now because LeBron left, but like Philadelphia is going to be better. Milwaukee and Giannis, and they have an actual human head coach this year, are going to be better. And Toronto got Kawhi. So like, and Cleveland didn't try during the regular season. So I think Boston's going to have a much tougher year than people expect. But I can't tell how much of that is just my brain blinding itself from other parts of my brain.
All right. Well, I guess we'll see in a couple months. But what else do we got going on today? If you're ending the show and like, hey, I want to listen to them some more, what else are you talking about? We have episode 1 of season 2 of Laughs from the Past, which is our comedy/history podcast. Season 2 is all about the Civil War. This is an introduction episode with some of the just smaller, bizarre stories, like a pair of Siamese twins getting drafted. Well, actually, no, only one of the twins got drafted. The president of Siam offered Abraham Lincoln war elephants. Abraham Lincoln had a great response. They tried to test out a camel corpse. They tried to test out canoe shoes so they could avoid bridges. Some wild and fun stories, brother versus brother, instructor versus student, because all the generals went to West Point, basically. So the Civil War, some interesting stuff. Go check that out if you want Laughs from the Past. Season 2, episode 1. No talking Knicks today, correct?
Talking Knicks today. I mean, we today technically released the Knox and Frank episode, right?
No. But I'll get them up.
Shoulda.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll get those up soon. All right. Thanks, guys. See ya.